Hello everyone. Can a shift in a classroom language turn local learners into global leaders? Well, this question highlights the intricate challenges of implementing English medium instruction in higher education systems in Uzbekistan. This analysis focuses on the application of EMI in Westminster International University in Tashkent. Before examining the specific context of the university, it is essential to define the term English medium instruction in higher education. EMI is the delivery of academic subjects using English language in countries where the first language of the majority of the population is not English. This definition makes a clear distinction between EMI and Content and Language Integrated Learning, CLIL, and English for academic purposes, and of course, English for specific purposes. English medium instruction focuses more on teaching academic content than explicitly teaching the language itself. The EMI in higher education represents a specific application of language for specific purposes. Well, in the Republic of Uzbekistan, EMI in both private, international and state universities is seen as a response to the national guidelines on the advancement of higher education. The British Council reported that in response to the national large-scale higher education reforms with objectives of the capacity building and internationalization in May 2019, Uzbek universities are being encouraged to implement EMI to produce globally competitive graduates. Let's talk about Westminster International University in Tashkent. Westminster International University in Tashkent, WIUT in short, founded in 2002 in collaboration with the University of Westminster in UK, and it is the first higher education institution in Central Asia to deliver all instruction in English. In order to research on EMI in the WIUT context, the three main approaches have been used: ecological, attitudinal, and policy implementation. Let's talk about ecological approach. In the research, Lin applied Huygens' language ecology model to examine how psychological, sociolinguistic, and institutional factors interact to shape the use of EMI. Second, it is attitudinal approach. Students are mostly in favor of English for academic purposes, but opposite its use in informal situations after the lessons. Using English beyond the classroom seems to them as showing off. The teachers are willing to use EMI in professional activities, but they admit switching Uzbek or Russian to ensure better comprehension. The third one is policy implementation analysis. Well, the policy aimed to balance English dominance with linguistic tolerance, but it hasn't yet been officially adopted as binding by the Academic Council. This is in line with the larger trends in EMI research, where the policy formulation is usually strong, but policy implementation is weak. Let's talk about some implementation challenges of EMI policy at the university. The introduction of EMI at WIUT reflects a contradiction between tolerance and control. On the one hand, university promotes English to enhance academic quality and international mobility, but on the other hand, there is social resistance logistical challenges, and hierarchy of language competence within the institution. These tensions are further too complicated by some factors at the university. The first, multilingual realities. The second, perceived inequity. The third, resistance. The first, top-down approach versus bottom-up tension. And the fifth one, neoliberal motivations. Well, the university case highlights several interconnected aspects. Using road mapping framework, the Westminster International University in Tashkent experiences emphasize how difficult it is to implement EMI in linguistically heterogeneous settings and how important it is to match policy with sociolinguistic attitudes and ecological realities. This case reminds LSP practitioners that language policy in EMI contexts must be flexible, co-constructed, and responsive to real-world conditions. It should strike a balance between practical needs, like local language requirements, and aspirational goals, such as internationalization. Most importantly, it must be supported by effective implementation and feedback systems. In a conclusion, I can say that the implementation of EMI at the University of Westminster in Tashkent shows the complex relationship between language beliefs, institutional goals, and how language is actually used in the community. English medium instruction in Uzbekistan, particularly at Westminster International University in Tashkent, continues to be a valuable area for LSP research, offering lessons on how language policy can either promote fairness and quality or increase the gap between them in higher education. Thanks for your attention.